Peace, family. What's going on? Listen, the last couple days, the last couple weeks has been on my mind. It's like really bothering me with the Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman case. But what's really starting to stand out is people questioning me, like some of my brothers, some of my neighbors, some of the black men that I come in contact with or I socialize with are saying, well, what about the black on black crimes? Why aren't we protesting that? As much as we protesting the George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin case. Well, I'm going to answer that, okay? And granted, I do believe that they are two things that are just as important, but they are different, okay? Granted, they are the common factor that they have is there's a black factor, okay? There's the white on black crime, and then there's the black on black crime. Neither is bigger than the other. I'm not going to say and tell you that one is bigger and one is more important. That's not the case. They're just two different entities. Okay? Let me explain the George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin. This is what makes the difference between George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin, and a black on black crime. Okay? George Zimmerman killed a 17-year-old black boy in cold blood. Everything points that way. George Zimmerman is taken to the police house or the city hall, whatever they call it in Sanford, Florida, and he's taken there and he tells them that I did it in self-defense. Okay? They take his word, and guess what? George Zimmerman is gone. He's free with his gun. He's free. He's at home right now with his gun. This minute, 10:49 a.m. He's at home. Okay? Let me kill a black kid. The same way. And I go get arrested. I'm get taken down to City Hall. And I said I did it in self-defense. Okay? All right. Well, you're gonna have your day in court. All right. The least bit, I'm gonna have at least $100,000 bail. And that's real talk. At least $100,000 bail to get out. If they even believe me a little bit, if they even believe me, my bail, I'm still going to have a bail to get out. I'm still going to have to fight for my innocence. Okay, I'm not going to be let out under some stand your ground law. Trust me, that's not going to happen. That is the difference. That's why we are protesting. That's why it upsets us to the core. Okay, a white man killed a black boy, and this hurts. It scraped some scars. It opened scars, many scars that we have as a black people, as a people of America. Not just black folks, but white folks. It opened up some scars that we had for many years. And I'm talking at least 250 years. Talk to me. All right? This thing opened up scars. Now, black on black, granted, there are some scars, okay? But you have to know the root of these black on black crimes. What's causing these black on black crimes? And granted, if you go back, I'm not even going to go back to slavery. I'm not going to go back into the physical slavery days, because today we have mental slavery days too, and those emotions and those mental issues carry on today. That's a whole nother thing. But I'm going to address, back in the 60s when we did have the civil rights movement, Dr. King was moving, and nonviolence, and we were marching, and we were uniting, okay? We were a united people, standing together with one cause, one purpose. We were tired of being a second class, third class people. We were tired of not being able to drink from the same fountains, of not being able to go into restaurants, and not being able to sit at same tables. And we were tired of being a low standard, a subpar human being. We were tired of that, okay? But some group of people, I'm not going to say an entire group like an entire white people nation, because that's crazy. White people was marching with us, standing side by side. That's crazy to say all white people. But there was a group, the power that be, and the folks that was the power that be so-called happened to be white. They did not like this. Black people uniting for this purpose. Black folks were becoming powerful within their selves. Okay? This threatened white folks. This threatened those power to be's. It was a threat. So what do you do to get rid of this threat, to downplay this threat? You begin to kill these leaders. Okay, it's the American way. It's chances are it's the evil side of humans. If there's a threat to your way of life, you kill it. So you had to get rid of Dr. King. You had to get rid of Malcolm X. You had to get rid of all our leaders, one by one. Anyone who made some legitimate noise and united black people, they were killed. They weren't. They were. Some were jailed, but for the most part, they were killed. Okay. Now, you have a people with no real leaders now, with no great leaders. So they're beginning to be divided. But they still have that way of life implemented in them, and it's in them enough that they want to succeed. They are families. Black folks in the '60s, black folks were really big families. We were up on a family. We had 2-parent households. Okay, we gotta get rid of that. We wanted the same thing as white folks. We weren't trying to take over the country. We just wanted the same thing as you. We just wanted a chance to succeed in life. We wanted the so-called American dream. Okay, but that still wasn't enough to these certain powers to be. They wanted to divide these black folks because they were succeeding in their movement. They were succeeding in their way of life. They were achieving the American dream. Okay? And that can't happen. The American dream was only supposed to be for white folks. It's not. The American dream is not for black folks. It wasn't meant to be for black folks. So you black folks, you can't have this. And that was these certain power of people's thinking. So what do to divide these people? Well, for beginners, one of the avenues that they did, they decided to throw black people a bone, a piece of meat. Folks who the starving folks, the folks that were trying to make it, but make ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck, just making it by. They throw them a bone, and the strongest black male who got that bone, he went in and he ate. Okay, well, what is this bone? This bone that I'm talking about happens to be drugs. Some powers that be approached the black folks, a black person, gave them a bone, gave them stacks of money, gave them some drugs to push in the neighborhood to destroy a neighborhood by neighborhood. You had this so-called man who's today he's considered the baller. All right, he's the baller. He's the one with the Escalade, still living on the block. He's the one with tens of thousands of dollars in his crib, still living on the block. All right, he's the one pushing weight, still living on the block or in the projects. So you give him the money and you tell him what you want. You tell him that he runs this stuff, and anybody that comes in there, comes in contact or try to take over, you have to kill them. Well, we have people that's trying to take over the brothers drug scene, and some are successful. Well, once they become successful, this group of people, the powers that be, say, hey, well, he's the most powerful one, so we start giving him the bone. We start giving him stacks of dollars. He becomes the man. All right, but granted, none of these cats owned planes. None of them had guns. We didn't have access to guns in the neighborhood. They were poor. We were poor. We didn't have access to these things. Somebody had to bring it into the neighborhood, and it. All right, face the fact, we were thrown a bone, and that's the problem. That's what's messing up our neighborhoods. That's what invaded our culture. The drugs and these guns. We didn't have this stuff. That invaded our culture. So when you want to talk about the black on black crimes and you want to do this, you want to take advantage of the talk shows and call in on radio shows and take the opportunity while we're marching for Trayvon Martin and say, well, what about the black on black crime? Well, my question to you is, well, what are you doing to lead that march? Okay? Are you mentoring a black man? Are you mentoring black boys out there? Because if you are, you wouldn't have to talk about it because you are being about it. That's my question to you. You lead the march. just like somebody else had stood up and fought for Trayvon Martin, you, my brother, you stand up and fight for the black on black crime. Let's get this out of our neighborhoods, okay? Let's make that happen. You do something about it. And that's my 2 cents, all right? That's all I'm going to say about this. More to come on this Trayvon Martin case, because it's really, really bothering me. And there's so much things. There's so many things out there that's getting to me and it's eating me up. All right, I'm protesting. I'm joining the Million Hoodie March today in Charlotte, North Carolina, at Marshall Park. I'm going to get down with that, and I'm going to show my unity with Trayvon's parents. All right, peace and love.